I've never been the type to believe in ghosts. I always thought that if something can't be seen, measured, or explained, then it isn't real. But what I'm about to share with you, these are not stories I heard. These are experiences that were lived. Confessions from people who came forward only once, anonymously, because what happened to them never left them. And after you hear what they went through, you might start questioning the quiet darkness of your own home. Story 1. The shadow in my room. I didn't know what it was at first. The first night I saw it, I told myself I was imagining things. Just a shift in the darkness. Maybe my eyes adjusting. But as I got older, I realized I was never alone in my room at night. The earliest memory I have is of waking up and seeing someone standing in the corner of my room. Not something. Someone. A figure. Perfectly still. Perfectly dark. No light reflected off it. It was like the shape of a person had been cut out of reality. I remember freezing in place. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stared. And it stared back. No eyes, no face. Yet I knew it was looking at me. I woke up the next morning on the floor. I must have passed out. My parents said it was a nightmare. But then came the second night. And the third. And eventually, every night. It never moved while I was looking at it. But if I blinked, just one blink, it would be closer. I started sleeping with the lights on. But that didn't stop it. It would still be there. A void in the shape of a man. Years went by. We moved to a new house. I thought I had left it behind. For the first week in the new home, I slept peacefully. But on the 8th night, I woke up feeling watched. The room was different, the bed was different, but the corner was the same. And so was the figure. I'm an adult now. I've lived in 7 different homes, across 3 different cities. It doesn't matter where I go. It finds the corner. It waits until I'm asleep. And then it watches. I've tried everything. Lights, cameras, sleeping pills. Nothing keeps it away. The reason I'm finally telling this story is because last night, something changed. For the first time in my life, it didn't stay in the corner. I woke up because I felt breath on my face. Hot, slow, measured. I opened my eyes, and all I saw was darkness. Not the darkness of a room with no lights. This was absolute, suffocating, black. And within that blackness, I heard a whisper, not in my ears, inside my head. It said, "I've waited long enough. This is the first day I haven't gone to sleep. And if what I saw is real, I don't think I'll ever sleep again." Story 2. The bed that shook at 3:15 a.m. I've always been a deep sleeper, the type of person who could sleep through a thunderstorm. But last winter, something started waking me up every single night at exactly 3:15 a.m. It began with a vibration, gentle at first, like the rumble of distant thunder. Except the sky was clear, and the vibration wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from underneath my bed. The mattress would tremble for a few seconds, then stop. Every night, always at 3:15. At first, I thought it was just my imagination. Sleep paralysis, maybe, but it kept happening. So one night, I stayed awake. I watched the clock. 3:14. 3:15. The moment the time changed, the bed began to shake. Slowly, at first, like something was pushing upward from underneath, testing it. Then violently, the headboard rattled against the wall. The entire mattress lifted, then slammed back down. I jumped out of bed, heart racing, but the room was still, silent. The next morning, I checked everywhere. Under the bed, floorboards, piping, nothing, no explanation. By the 4th night, I was terrified. So I set up a camera, not to catch a person, but to prove to myself I wasn't losing my mind. I didn't stay in the room that night. I slept on the couch, but I left the camera rolling. At 3:15, the footage showed the bed starting to move. The mattress tensed, like something inside it was pressing against the fabric. Then it began to rise, 4 inches off the frame. It stayed suspended in the air for 6 full seconds, then dropped. The camera flickered, and then I saw it. Something pressed down on the mattress. Not a hand, not a body, just an indentation. Like a weight was slowly sinking into it. The fabric stretched, strained, as if something heavy was crawling across the bed, inch by inch, moving toward the side where my head would have been. Then the footage cut to static. I never slept in that bed again. I ordered a new mattress, new frame, moved rooms. That night, I fell asleep easily. No movement, no vibrations. I thought it was over, but at 3:15, I woke to the feeling of the blanket lifting slowly off my body. Something slid underneath me. The mattress dipped, and then I realized it was never the bed that was haunted. It was me, and whatever had been waiting under the bed had finally decided to lie beside me. Story 3. The door that wouldn't stay closed. I moved into that old farmhouse because it was cheap. Middle of nowhere, quiet, peaceful. Exactly what I thought I needed. There was only one thing that bothered me from the start: the kitchen door. Every night before bed, I'd close it, and every morning it would be open. Not wide open, just slightly cracked, as if someone had tried to close it, but decided to leave it just enough. At first, I assumed it was warped wood or a draft. Old houses do strange things. But no matter how firmly I closed it, it never stayed shut. One night, I pushed a heavy chair up against it before bed. In the morning, the chair was on the other side of the room. No sound woke me, no footsteps, but the door was open, just enough for darkness to spill into the hallway. The next night, I locked it with a deadbolt. At 3:27 a.m., the sound of metal softly clicking woke me. The deadbolt turning, slowly, deliberately. I lay in bed, motionless, staring at the ceiling. Then I heard it, the quiet creak of the door opening. Not forced, not pushed, opened. There were no footsteps, just silence, and the faintest sound of breathing. Not human breathing, not steady, more like something trying to remember how. The next day, I nailed the door shut. I drove iron nails all the way into the frame and sealed every crack. I remember pressing my ear against the wood and whispering, "Stay closed." That night, I slept with a hammer on my chest. At exactly 3:27 a.m., I woke up to tapping. Tap, 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 not on the door, from inside the wall. I heard the groan of wood, the squeal of metal being extracted. One nail slid out, then another. Slow, precise, polite. By the time I gathered the courage to move, it was quiet. Morning light revealed every single nail from the door, placed neatly in a straight line on the kitchen counter. And the door was open. That was the moment I stopped trying to keep it closed, because whatever was on the other side of that door wasn't trying to get in. It was trying to get me to come through. And every night when the door opens just enough, I stand there in the dark, and I swear I can hear it breathing, waiting for the night I finally walk through.